Hello and welcome to another time of Bible teaching. Oh my goodness, are my fingers sore? All those comments. Thank you. The comments are cool. Well, some of them. Some people I had to just go by. Ugh. But oh my goodness, lots of new people, lots of comments. I think I'm caught up. It's taken a while. You know what? I've spent a lot of time in doing all this. In the coming days, I'm going to slow down a little bit. You probably won't be getting videos every day like you have been, but that's okay. I have a life too outside of doing this. Um, but we're going to start a little series about what are they going to say next? Rapture 2020, not 2025. What are they going to say now? And I want to start with the obvious one. It's a year of Jubilee. It's not. It can't be a year of Jubilee. A year of Jubilee, all the land goes back to the original owner. Messiah said the land is his. The land does not go back to Messiah and at the rapture. It goes back to him when his feet are on the ground. And we'll talk about that. I've talked about it. Oh my goodness, have I talked about it. But that's what they're going to say. 10 more days. Wait. It's a year of Jubilee. It's not a year of Jubilee. What else can I say? The calendar's wrong. We're off by a month. Well, that's the barley. We know it's not right. We know when the barley is. The barley sets the months. They're right. They're right. And the calendar that we have in Israel is off. We know that, but the scripture tells it. I love this one. We're how to use the solar calendar from wherever it's from, the solar calendar. Oh my goodness, really? A solar calendar. What does scripture say? Go to Genesis 1, right around 14. So let there be lights in the firmament and the heavens that divide the night from the day. Let them be for signs and seasons, days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light to the earth. And so it was. And God made the two great lights, the sun and the moon, basically is what it says. The greater the light to rule the day and the lesser the light to rule the night. So the sun and the moon. Let the sun and the moon be for days and years. And you have people out there saying, no, we need to have this solar calendar. Yeah, worshiping the sun god. And seriously, the Sunday, sun god, it's not good. And you're going to hear all kinds of stuff. Then people are going to jump and say it's Yom Kippur. It's Tabernacles. It's the 8th day. Actually, last year, people were saying it's Halloween. It's not. It can only be Rosh Hashanah. But now there's a video out there, and I don't like calling videos out by name, but I'm going to make an exception that Joshua is right. And they're trying to show that the new moon and although he gave dates, but the new moon and the full moon are wrong, and people got them backwards. That it's what we just had was not a new moon, but we had a full moon, the one that we couldn't see. That was the full moon. Okay, so what he starts with is by he goes through Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and we'll just go to Luke. Let's do Luke. In Luke 23, and it's talking about the crucifixion here, 44 and 45. 44. Now it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the earth until the 9th hour. Then the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. So we're talking about how long is this period of time? 3 hours. And he's claiming this is a solar eclipse. Do you have any idea what the longest solar eclipse in human history is? What is this place? I'm sorry, we got all these little things up here, live science. And you can Google this yourself. What is the longest solar eclipse in history? The longest totality on record was 7 minutes and 28 seconds for a solar eclipse in June 15th of 743 BC, which occurred off the Indian coast. And this they're doing by their calculations. But according to them, and this is the same thing you'll come up with if you Google this, but according to them, the longest solar eclipse would have been 7 minutes. Now, here's another one. Again, the longest solar eclipse in history occurred for June 15, 743 BC, lasting 7 minutes and 27.454 seconds. This one caught my attention. What do you mean 74 minutes? Well, that was extended because of a supersonic flight. So somebody was on a supersonic flight and they're saying it for that. So that doesn't count. It's not an eclipse, folks. God did it another way. I don't know how he did it, but the longest eclipse ever. And guess what? If it was a real eclipse, they're doing all these models. They would have known it. God did it another way. It is not a solar eclipse as we know solar eclipses. So what they're basically saying is that because that solar eclipse happens on Nisan 14, and the solar eclipse can only happen at a full moon, and that has to be a full moon. And that's pretty much, they've got one other thing they're working with. That's like the crux, their argument. That's not a solar eclipse. It's not. So that's a problem with that. So what we want to look at is the word HaKeseh, and it's the word they looked at. And he actually made some claims that just are not true. But we're going to go back to something we looked at with regard to Rosh Hashanah a while ago, Yom HaKeseh, the hidden day. And this is one of the names for Rosh Hashanah. It is a day that is concealed and the day in which we will be concealed. And this is the video I've done about, the rapture in Psalm 27, where for in that time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion, being hidden away. In the secret of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. He shall hide me upon a rock. And then another name for Rosh Hashanah is Yom HaKeseh, the day of hiding or the hidden day. The term, and this is the term that we're looking at, Keseh or Keshi, and it's just different ways it's spelled, is derived from the Hebrew root word this. We're going to go in and do this, which means to cover, to conceal, to hide. Okay? So what this person is talking about is that if you go to Psalm 81:3, and that's the word we're going to look at. Psalm 81:3. And this whole thing just falls apart. That's not Psalm 81:3, is it? And I'm in my head thinking about how to organize this. Psalm 81:3. Blow the trumpet at the time of the new moon, at the full moon on our solemn feast day. Do you know not everybody translates that in a full moon? If we went to the King James Version, what do they say? Blow the trumpet at the new moon in the time appointed on a solemn feast day. Doesn't mention a new moon there. I decide, what does the Tanakh say? What does the Jewish Bible say? Because they're saying that everybody switched these around, that in Jesus' day it was different. And we'll see it wasn't. But is that it? No, hold on. No, that's something else. Here we go. Over here. So this is Psalm 81 out of a Jewish Tanakh. And actually they have verse 3 and 4 kind of a little mixed up or whatever. Or maybe we do. Who knows? Raise your voice in song and give forth with timbrel a pleasant harp and a lyre. Sound the shofar at the new moon on the appointed time of the day of our festival. Doesn't say anything about a full moon here. This is the Jewish Tanakh, and it actually has a commentary. This commentary was done at about 1000 AD, somewhere in that ballpark by a guy by the name of Rashi, and Rashi was considered to be one of the greatest rabbis of all time. On the new moon, when the moon renews itself, the appointed day for it, and so Proverbs 7:20, on the appointed day, he will come home to the appointed time that had been fixed. It doesn't mention a full moon. Let's go back to the wording here. Psalm 81:3. And it gives us this word, HaKeseh. And that's the same word to Yom HaKeseh, a day for Rosh Hashanah, the time of concealment. So how does that work? See, in the King James Version, it's at the time appointed. So we look at the definition again. They say outline of biblical use is full moon, but where does this word come from? And it's appointed 2 times here. This word comes from HaKeseh, or the root word is right here. And according to this video, he said, yeah, it's just, he didn't show this. He said, yeah, it's just covered. It's covered in light. To cover, conceal, hide. To be covered, to cover, clothe, cover, conceal, to cover for protection, to cover over, spread over, to cover, overwhelm, to be covered, to be clothed. To cover oneself. There's nothing about being covered with light. Actually, this word, most of the time it's in the King James as cover, to hide, to conceal. This is the root word that they're saying is a full moon. Okay, give me a second. Now, in this video, it's basically saying that we're not doing it. And Messiah's day, they had it right, but we're not doing it right. That's basically what he's saying. So let's go and see what the Talmud says. In the Talmud, anybody know what Talmud actually means? Teachings. These are the teachings of all the great rabbis over the years. Some are good, some are bad. So let's go into the Talmud and see what they say, because we want to see what it was like, what was the prevailing thought back in the day. And all these little ones like this is what you see for what was actually in it. To calculate the molade, if the molade occurred before midday, so there are at least 6 more hours left in the day, it's known that the moon shall be visible close to sunset. If, however, the molade did not occur before midday, there are fewer than 6 hours left of the day, and it is known that the moon will not be visible close to sunset. By the way, this is all about when can the new moon be seen. If the new moon is the full moon, it'll be easy to see. And these are just the writings of the Talmud. If the conjunction before midday, when the moon can certainly be seen before the moon can certainly be seen before sunset, because those living in Israel west of Babylon, the moon is only visible 6 hours after the conjunction. 6 hours after the conjunction, the moon is always in the southwest sky of the corner. That's something from 1990. The bottom line is, I'm going to find something else. Here's another Jewish source, the Temple Institute, and they're talking about the way things were back in the temple days, back when they had a temple. And let's come down here. During the time of the Holy Temple, the drama of Rosh Hashanah began even before the onset of the holy day. This day involves the sanctification of the new moon. Rosh Hashanah occurs at the first day of the month of Tishri, and therefore it can't begin until the appearance of the new moon has been established. The commandment to declare the new moon and establish its appearance from all the children of Israel was the first commandment received by the Israelites even before they emerged from their bondage in Egypt. And that would be it. And it seems ironic that God, the King of the universe, would call upon his people to determine, as it were, on the what day he himself created the universe. But this is, in fact, what God, in his love for his people, entrusted the Jewish people. This is what they did in temple times, which the other guy's saying, no, no, they had it right then. We've screwed it around. We've messed it up. This is from the Temple Institute. They would know. So if somebody is trying to sell you that a new moon is a full moon and a full moon is a new moon, they got it wrong. And you might as well be trying to, I mean, it's like they're trying to sell ice to Eskimos, and it's working. Yeah, and this someone I watched his video for like 5 minutes, and it's like I couldn't take anymore because I knew it was just really, really bad, and it's really, really misleading. Um, in that day, let me see if I can find one more. This is this place about the rules, kind of about that go along with Rosh Hashanah. And we're going back to something called the Mishnah. The Mishnah was just writings from back in that day. If the witness was unknown, it's observances about the witness concerning the new moon and the hoisting of the flags and how it was consecrated by Beth Din. And I don't understand what Beth Din is, or the hoisting of the flags. That may have been on the mountain so other people could see. I don't know. But if the witness was unknown, another was sent to testify to his character. In former times, they would receive evidence about the appearance of the moon from anyone, but when whatever commenced to corrupt the witnesses, that evidence would only be received from those who were known to be reputable. One more thing. This is straight out of the Mishnah, which is just Jewish writings of old, and from which country they could light the torches. And they would light the torches from one mountain to another to a mountain, so the people on the other side could know when the new moon was spotted. If the new moon is a full moon, they wouldn't have to do this. But anyhow, and from which mountains they would light the torches. They would transmit the messages from the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem to Savarta, from Savarta to, I can't do these names, on and on and on, to light the torches in any predetermined location. Rather, the one who was appointed for the task would wave the torch back and forth, up and down, until he would see the entire diaspora before him, a light like the one large bonfire, as they would light torches to continue transmitting the message all the way. And they're basically transmitting the message from Jerusalem over to Babylon. There was a large courtyard. Oh, no, that's it. There was a large courtyard in Jerusalem, and there all the witnesses coming to testify about the new moon would gather. You don't need testimonies about the new moon if the new moon is actually a full moon that is fully clothed in light and that everybody can see it. You don't need the witnesses. And this is going back thousands of years ago. Hey, guys, don't let somebody pull the wool over your eyes. A full moon is a full moon. A new moon is a new moon. We've got it right. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you.